I've been so sore from Pilates that I've literally cramped up laughing afterward. Like, I don't know if you ever have been like so sore that like, yeah, or you like get up off the ground and all of a sudden you're like abdominal muscle cramps and there's nothing you can do. Hey, we're here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We're visiting Jaicy Harless with Elite Muscle Recovery, checking out her space, showing you what you can do in what we consider a mid-sized market and how you can grow a practice. And with her in particular, grow a practice without you having to see everybody yourself. Let's check it out. What's going on? We're in Chattanooga. We're at Elite Muscle Recovery, checking out Jaicy Harless's shop here. This place is awesome. I think for a lot of people, the end goal is to have a standalone space where they can control their own environment, right? They can make it look the way that they want.
Yes.
All that, right?
Yes.
So for you, okay, 2 years. It doesn't seem like, I mean, that's honestly not that long. I was in a sublease space for like close to the same amount of time, you know? And honestly, I probably wouldn't have jumped to a standalone space if the gym I was in hadn't like closed. Yeah. So for you, what was the big catalyst that you wanted to move into your own space?
Yeah, so I was upstairs, which was not convenient. There was no elevator or anything.
Oh, so that's like ADA compliant issues sometimes.
Yes. And then I only had a little room. I couldn't have my gym and I couldn't do anything of the performance side.
Yeah.
So they wanted me to be quiet.
Okay. On the performance side, what's sort of like the approach you like to take with people?
So I like group fitness. I really love beginners. So my group fitness is usually beginners. So people that are trying to get into fitness, wanting to learn, and just don't know how, scared to go into a club because they don't know what to do. So I love those people, and that's what I start with. So
do you prefer that side, or do you prefer them kind of get to, you know, a gym?
I like both. I mean, I can always progress as long as there's enough people to progress up. That's great. But they aren't going to want to go back into the beginner's class again.
Right,
so
right.
They're advanced, and so they know at some point they're going to have to leave.
We can talk about that when we go back to the gym. I'm interested to learn more. So let's just look at the space for a second, so we give people a little layout of how you have this set up. So you've got subleasing a space to a massage therapist.
Right.
Okay, so this person just manages their own schedule and kind of does their own thing.
Yep.
All right, and then one treatment room here, which your niece is now in. Yeah, I was just looking for you earlier. and this is, we just got a little dry needling in there.
Yeah.
Got to work on. She's playing volleyball, so her shoulder keeping her healthy, which is awesome.
Right.
And then, so like, let's check out the space, because I love the room on the left over here that you showed us. So yeah, tell me a little bit about this. This is something that I haven't seen too much in clinics.
So I deal with a lot of moms. One of my biggest referral is migraines. So a lot of people come in with migraines, and unfortunately a lot of women have little children, maybe causing the migraines, I don't know. It might be.
Another treatment room here.
Yeah.
So we've got, 2 plus the massage therapist room, which is awesome. And for you, like space-wise, how many people do you feel like you could have, like staff members, if you wanted to build it to where it's capacity, they could treat in this space? Yeah,
so I have another part-time PT currently, and then I just hired another one. She starts in 2 weeks.
Nice, that's awesome.
So we're gonna have 3.
And this is gonna be a part-time person as well, a full-time person?
A part-time, potential to go to full-time.
Yeah.
And I might be open 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Yes, so family side is definitely a big, important part for me. I like to be home with the family. I am trying to support and get Elite up to where I can be the business only and kind of step back. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to go for.
You know what, I love that. I saw this with Elizabeth Rudd with her practice in Well Equipped. And I don't know if you've had like conversations with her where from the get-go, that was the goal. It was a couple days a week, but not necessarily treating full time. I want to run the business, learn how to run the business, and actually, be able to develop it and hire great people that can really see folks the way that you'd want them to be seen. So do you feel like you're trying to trend a similar direction?
Yeah.
So, okay, let's talk about this space, because you said you have groups then. So you're doing group
I do
class?
Group starts, yep. So fitness class, I limit it to 6. So there's an example of what they're doing.
This is what you got today, huh?
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about how you like to mix in heavy manual therapy work with, things like Pilates.
Yeah, so the Pilates, I have 2 instructors that do solo, or they can do duals or trios. There's another one that can go right here. But what happens is a lot of the times people come in, some kind of injury, some kind of pain. I progress them to get out of the pain, and then we can really focus on strengthening what needs to be strengthened, because Pilates is very good at that.
Yeah.
So they are able to isolate and strengthen the parts that we need to in a program for Pilates. And so it's kind of like a pass off. So
do you see people go from that to then, group?
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of like the continuum is, get the pain resolved, create some stability and some control, and then now we can bigger movement patterns from there.
Yes.
I think that's really smart. What's your approach to, working with 6 people? Because you only have an hour with them. Yep. You got to get the lowest hanging fruit. You got to get them as healthy as you can. What do you like to focus on?
So they are all beginners, by the way. So they are the people that are trying to come in and not mess themselves up. So I really take my time focusing and picking out what they need, but I try to do a total body workout for all of it. We are progressing. So these people are progressing up because I have a weighted burpee already in there. These people have been in for 4 months now. So they're crawling up the space and getting to that comfortable level. But at the beginning, we're doing easier things, just making sure that their mobility and their form is correct.
Yeah.
Because that's what they don't know. And that's how they get injured at home and get frustrated, and then they quit. And I don't want that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
what do you like more? Treating patients, in a one-on-one, they're hurt, taking them, out of that and into getting back to things, or do you like coaching more?
I like coaching more.
Yeah, me too. I like to coach more. Tell me about this. So, equipment-wise, let's talk about some of the stuff you have in here, what you're using on a regular basis, because it looks like you're doing a lot of ground-based stuff. So are you doing like a lot on are you doing Pilates non-reformer-based sort of movements as well, sort of ground-based?
Yes, they have mat Pilates as well.
Yeah.
So mat Pilates is another group. They take up to 8, unless they're all beginners, and then they'll stay at 5.
So if let's say you're in, have a patient that comes in, when do you recommend reformer, one-on-one, like very specific work with equipment? Or when do you recommend, hey, you might want to think about ground-based Pilates? Like, what's the difference for you when you're making that decision?
So on the reformer, I feel like it's going to be safer because it's always one-on-one. So the person is getting that direct attention, and you can do the little tweaks. If you're going to a class, I would want it to be more focused one-on-one if you're a beginner, because you can really get hurt in Pilates. You can do a lot of stuff that just makes your back hurt, makes anything hurt, basically.
I've been so sore from Pilates that I've literally cramped up laughing afterward. Like, I don't know if you ever have been like so sore that or you like get up off the ground and all of a sudden you're like abdominal muscle cramps and there's nothing you can do. Pilates is no joke. It's really, really hard. You have a great space now. You have a couple years in a sublease space, but prior to that, 10 years, you say, with travel PT?
12 years.
12 years of travel PT. So do you wish you would have done something like this sooner, or do you feel like that was just like the best thing you could have done at the time?
So I actually got out of travel PT because of when I first started, it was always one-on-one, which is great. And I wanted to keep my skills up, so I would keep bouncing around from inpatient to outpatient to pediatric to home health. But once they started really packing on outpatient, and I liked outpatient best, which is
right.
So once they started putting you have to see 4 people an hour, 52 people a week.
Oh my gosh.
No, I don't want to do this anymore. So that's when I quit. I actually didn't do outpatient for the last 2 years of my travel because I didn't want to be put in that situation.
So you
anymore.
went to inpatient.
Yep.
What's been the hardest part of getting to this spot where you're at now? Where you're at, like a standalone space, and you're hiring people.
Yeah.
You obviously made a lot of progress. So a lot of bumps in the road. What's been the hardest thing?
A lot of bumps in the road. I would say, PT Biz helped so much because it was the encouraging part. A lot of I don't know if everybody does this, but you see the other people that take off so quickly.
Some
and you're
people,
like, why can't I do that?
Yeah.
What's going on? And then, you think about it, you have your coaches, you're like, you only work 3 days a week. You can't do everything. You can't, and then you're like, okay. But it's just so hard to be able to hone in everything and get there. I was so happy to be able to move in here in December and get my own space so that I can do my own thing and not be limited anymore. But I think it was the longevity that was the hardest part. I knew I had to crunch the numbers. I knew I had to, save. I knew I had to do all this kind of stuff, find the right place and everything. And it all worked out.
If anybody's watching this and they're sort of like, man, I've been busting my ass for a year. Like, I don't feel like I'm getting traction. Like, what advice do you have for them?
I would just say keep going. I was in your shoes for sure because I saw all the people soar, and you're absolutely right. There were the people that had the time. And I didn't want to work 70 hours a week. So that was not me. I had the 3 days. I knew I had the 3 days, and I did as much as I could in those 3 days. And I was able to grow, and I was able to do it. So I feel like if you just keep persevering and keep going on, you'll get there too. It just put your mind to it. Set goals, little goals that you can achieve. Don't set like, I'm gonna get 500,000 in the next year. Too high. Set little goals that you can achieve, and so you can see the progress and you can reward yourself.
Well, what's been the best part? Like, what's the coolest part about, what you have right now, where your business is?
Ooh, the coolest part. Man, I just love being here and owning my own thing.
Yeah.
And being able to say it's mine, We get to say that this is my spot, and you get to do what you want. Nobody else is telling you what you can and cannot do, and, how far you can and cannot go.
What does it look like in the next, let's call it 3 to 5 years? What's a home run for you? What does your company look like? And then what does your life look like? How much time are you working? The work-life balance for you is so big. I'd love to know what that looks like.
So I'm going to go with 5.
Yeah, let's go 5. Yeah.
5 years.
Okay.
So with 5 years, I am hoping we will have 4 PTs, still have the Pilates, and be able to be the mastermind behind the scenes. I will not be working. I will be doing all the business side. I will be going out and being all business, all behind scenes. In 4 years, maybe we'll be able to bust down that wall right there and expand over so that we could have a treatment room and a Pilates room.
You got to put it out there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, is somebody over there right now?
They just moved out.
Okay, I was going to say, because if not, they're in trouble because you just put it out and then they're going to lose their space. But there you go. So I think that's going to happen much faster than that. So, but thanks so much for showing your space. This is awesome. We really appreciate it. I hope you like this one. We're showing off towns that are not as massive as like Atlanta, Chattanooga's growing pretty fast, but still, definitely mid-market size. So really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, we'll catch you in the next one.